Well, welcome back to the unofficial West Brom fan podcast. I think it's fair to say this season is the return of those glory years again, supporting our beloved football club. Of course, for me, being born in the early 80s anyway, I was too young to witness the Cunninghams, Regises, Tony Browns, etc., which my dad had consistently talked to me about, as that was his era growing up. He used to harp on to me, and rightly so, how they all went to Oldham on a bus when we won promotion back to the top tier in 1976. I did feel sorry for Mum though, as she was banned from the trip, as it was an all-lads trip. Poor Mum. Euro 2000 for England had been a disaster. But what do you expect when you don't call up any West Brom players? Seriously though, I struggled to watch it as I'd been diagnosed with glandular fever and it really knocked me for six. Sore throat and I was constantly tired all the time, felt weak. Mum and Dad were really worried as I was always in bed. But thankfully, a Thames machine, ever used one of those? They're brilliant for calming you down, especially when you got panic attacks. And a few other medications helped me and I started to get better. Just in time for the new season. Well, isn't that a coincidence? Just before the season started, Dad had actually said to me, "I'm sorry, Dale, but I don't think you'll ever see us in the top flight, playing the Man Uniteds, the Liverpools, etc." And let's be fair, after the season we've just had, I couldn't argue with him. We'd had flutters now and then, as you would hopefully have heard by listening to the previous episodes, or by being made aware of the Albion history, of course, if you didn't know. But this season was to be the start of something special. A new manager, Gary Megson, being backed by our new chairman, Paul Thompson. There is excitement in the air, although nowhere near the thought of what was to come. Certainly for me. I'd be happy with mid-table and progression. That'd do after staying up the previous season. I'd now finished my Information Technology Foundation course at college. Passed the exams, which was my first ever achievement. I decided I wanted to go down the line of creating a football mail game. Now, had I stuck to this, it could have been quite big. There was already one other mail game out at the time called In Off the Post, which my cousin Paul used to play. Basically, it was a football play-by-mail game. You would be sent your team each week, pick your line-up, you can make transfers, etc. It's a bit like pitchsidemanager.com nowadays, if you've ever played that. Now that's all electronic, of course, and online. Back then, the technology wasn't quite there. So Mum had paid for me to have a post box, or a PO box, as they were once called. So all my letters from the people playing would be delivered there and redirected. I used to spend hours putting together the teams, the profiles, the transfers, etc. I had a program called Visual Basic, thanks to my other cousin Neil, who'd install it on my PC. Yeah, I was a proper nerd. I used this program to generate the results. It started off really well and I was making money, no problem. But not enough to pay your keep on board money. I needed a part-time job. Still, my Albion home season ticket had been renewed. And that was all I now cared about. More importantly, back to the football. And Sir Gary Megson, as I'm sure most, if not all Albion supporters go by that name, had started to stamp his authority on our team. I was gutted not to see us re-sign George Santos, but in his place came former Rangers midfielder Derek McInnes from Toulouse for a bargain fee of around $400,000. Still, in my opinion, the best all-round Albion captain I've ever witnessed, in my time supporting us anyway. Don't get me wrong, Darren Fletcher was quality and probably the best Premier League captain, but McInnes was something else. For how he helped galvanise and transform a team that in my opinion was nowhere near ready for Premier League football tells it all. Jason Roberts, Rule Fox, Des Little, Neil Clement, having made their loan deals permanent from Watford and Chelsea respectively, and Jordan all joined McInnes through the door, in the summer if I remember right. There were probably more, but those are the ones off the top of my head I can remember. But that was a sign of Megson tearing out the dead wood and replacing it with hard-working, strong additions. Russell Holt, Phil Gilchrist and Michael Appleton were to follow later in the season. But it couldn't have got off to a worse, disastrous start. Our worst ever start since supporting the club. For me, anyway. We lost our first 3 league fixtures against Nottingham Forest, Bolton Wanderers and Barnsley, which was a 4-1 hammering, by the way, to go bottom of the table. Yes, bottom of the table. I remember listening to the fans phoning on a radio station after the Barnsley game, and a couple were not impressed with Megson. We'd even failed to beat 2nd Division Swansea City in the Worthington League Cup, drawing 0-0 at their place in the first leg. I remember thinking at the time, oh dear, we really could go down this time. And that slump continued as we went 1-0 down in our next game at home to Queen's Park Rangers. We hadn't played too bad first half, and I remember seeing this incredibly tall striker with light blonde hair playing for the visitors. He didn't have a great game, miscontrolling the ball every time it came to him, not winning the headers for the size of him. Our fans, being the comedy supporters they are, and needing something to cheer us up at the time, came out with a rendition of "One Rodney Trotter, there's only one Rodney Trotter," from the famous TV sitcom Only Fools and Horses. Surely you know by now who I'm talking about. It is, of course, Peter Crouch. He actually almost scored at the end with a header that skimmed the post. Now that would have put egg on our faces, wouldn't it? But goals from Jason Van Blurk and Lee Hughes turned the game around, and we were at last, as my famous quote goes, off and running. Well, Albion trailing by 1-0 here at the Hawthorns. It really has been a dreadful start to the season for the Baggies, but we're underway in the second half. What has Gary Megson had to say? Here is Taylor, finds Butler, clips it forward over the halfway line, give it Hughes, headed away, but Jordao takes it down on the chest, the new signing from Portugal. Now Taylor finds Hughes, Hughes is in the area, chance here for Hughes, turning away, Jordao, good save, Van Blurk, Jason Van Blurk equalises for West Bromwich Albion. Well, Jordao was involved, centre of the penalty area, struck the ball right-footed after Hughes had pulled the ball back. The goalkeeper got a save to it, but it came back out to Van Blurk, 6 yards out, right foot, back of the net, and Albion are back on level terms here at the Hawthorns. It's just what they needed. It's West Bromwich Albion 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Looking for Crouch, intercepted by Little. Thump forward over the line. Hughes has done well, and he's got the better of Steve Morrow, and he's into the penalty area. Lee Hughes, what can he do here? Oh, Hughes has scored for West Bromwich Albion. Oh, I think it's an own goal. Is it off the goalkeeper? Well, Hughes won't care, nor will West Brom. They've turned it around here at the Hawthorns. It's West Bromwich Albion 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Well, Des Little with the ball over the top of the QPR back line. Lee Hughes, right side of the area, in front of the Birmingham Road end, turns his defender, goes on the outside of him, strikes it right-footed. But the goalkeeper at his near post fumbles the ball goes over the line. Albion 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Now are Albion finally going to get their first league win of the season. And we followed that up with a second successive 1-0 win at home to Crystal Palace in front of the Sky cameras, before a 2-1 victory against Swansea City in the second leg of the Worthington League Cup. Our new club record signing from Bristol Rovers, Jason Roberts, scoring twice. We knew by now he was the nephew of Cyril Regis, and I just remember the electrifying pace and the neat finishing showed in that game, rolling back the ears of the older supporters around me. It's another Cyril, one of them said. We certainly hoped that would be the case. Roberts gets away from his man. The new record signing chance here. Oh yes, he scored for West Bromwich Albion. Jason Roberts, low into the corner. And West Bromwich Albion are back in it here. It's 1-1 here at the Hawthorns, and the new club record signing from Bristol Rovers in the summer gets off the mark. And in front of those West Bromwich Albion supporters, we've been talking about it, but it's certainly do wonder if he is like that. But Roberts again is in here. Jason Roberts turning, twisting. Roberts! It's 2-1 to West Bromwich Albion. Oh, what a way to endear yourself to the West Bromwich Albion supporters. The nephew of Cyril Regis, showing his blistering pace once again. And finishing in fine style in the bottom right-hand corner. Great twist and turn to beat the defender. And a low drive into the corner, and West Bromwich Albion are in front here in this League Cup tie. It's West Bromwich Albion 2, Swansea City 1. Another 1-0 win, this time away to Crewe Alexandra. Lee Hughes with his third of the season. We were creeping nicely up the table now, and an impressive 1-1 draw against high-flying Birmingham City kept us moving into 8th place. Stark contrast to the opening 3 games of the season, that's for certain. I remember that Birmingham game thinking we really do look a decent side. And we'd given Blues a cracking match. Had it not been for a Horsfield late equaliser, we'd have won that one as well. But it was to get even better in midweek, as we beat Premiership side Derby County in the second round first leg of the Worthington League Cup. Now we're cooking. I listened to the radio before watching it on Central Sports Special. I couldn't believe it. We'd beaten a Premiership side on their own patch for the first time in my Albion supporting life. Buzzing was an understatement. Albion currently trailing by that goal to nil through Dion Burton, and hoping to get back on level terms. There's a cross into the area. Oh, it comes out to Clement. Chance here, Clement! Yes, it's an equaliser! And Albion have equalised here. It's Derby County 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Neil Clement with the goal. Well, I think that's his first ever goal in a West Bromwich Albion shirt. Of course, he came on loan from Chelsea, made that deal permanent, and now he has got his first West Bromwich Albion goal, and what a way to get it against Premiership side Derby County. Came out to him on the right side of the area, corner of the penalty area, left-footed, sweeping low effort into the bottom left-hand corner, and West Bromwich Albion are back on level terms. It's Derby County 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Albion again, there's the cross into the area, cleared away. Will be put back in. Oh, Sneakers has took control of it. Sneakers! Oh, that is absolutely majestic from Richard Sneakers. Oh, it's one of his famous pile drivers past the Derby keeper into the back of the net. He might have took a deflection on the way, but who cares? West Bromwich Albion have come back from the dead in this one against Premier League side Derby County. It's Derby County 1, West Bromwich Albion 2. Neil Clement and Richard Sneakers are the scorers. And what a huge shock it would be here in the League Cup if West Brom can hold on to it. Another 1-0 win at Portsmouth, this time thanks to Jason Roberts' kneecap. Who cares, every goal counts, I remember thinking at the time. Stretched our unbeaten league run to 6 before a League Cup second leg 4-2 defeat to Derby at the Hawthorns to knock us out of the competition. However, again, we were impressive. It was just Derby's Premiership class again proving the gulf between the two sides. You could see why Derby were doing so well in the Premiership at the time. But this Albion side would not take no for an answer, and bounced back from that Derby loss with another tough battling 1-0 victory against Blackburn Rovers. Well, Albion are certainly in confidence mood after knocking out Premiership side Derby County in the week, and here they come again. There's the cross into the area. Oh, and it's gone in! And Albion have taken the lead at Fratton Park, and it's Jason Roberts. Well, I don't think he knew much about it. It seemed to come off his knee as it went into the back of the net. Great cross from the right-hand side. And there's Roberts. It ricochets, yes it does, off his knee and goes in from 6 yards out. But Albion have taken the lead here at Fratton Park. It's Portsmouth 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. Still goalless here between West Bromwich Albion and Blackburn Rovers, but Albion have a throw-in on this right-hand side. It's level with the Blackburn penalty area, which Raul Fox will go over and take, kicking towards the Birmingham road end in the second half. There's a throw into the area. Sneakers now. Great ball in. Hughes! Oh, that's a brilliant goal from Lee Hughes. And West Bromwich Albion have broken the deadlock here inside the 65th minute. Well, they've had to work hard against this tough and rugged Blackburn side, but they finally found a way through, and it's that man Lee Hughes again, isn't it? Johnny on the spot, 6 yards out, on the volley, right foot, roof of the net. Sneakers with the delivery from the right-hand side. It was a delightful cross from the Dutchman, and it's just on the Hughes' right foot, bang, in the roof of the net. Albion lead by a 0-0 here against Graham Souness's Blackburn Rovers. It is West Bromwich Albion 1, Blackburn Rovers 0. At last came my first ever official away game on my own. No cousins, no mum and dad. It was just me. Mum dropped me off at the Hawthorns, and I'd remembered those bacon sandwiches that the man with the cap had so kindly provided me. Mum and Dad at a previous away game. Yes, I still didn't know Alan Cleverley's name at the time. I paid the good man and collected my sandwiches, and off I went on the coach for another rendition of the wonderful Baggies TV on the official West Bromwich Albion coach travel to keep me occupied for the journey to Sheffield Wednesday's Hillsborough. Although it was to be a glorious day on the pitch, it wasn't to be the greatest of it, which I'll explain shortly. But for now, I'd arrived at a new ground I'd never been to before, and for me, it's still one of my favourites to visit. We got there about 2 hours before kick-off, so off I went around the ground visiting the club shop, buying a programme. Just taking it in that I was at an Albion game all on my own. I was still very shy, so I didn't talk to many people unless they talked to me, and I'm not a big drinker at all, so the pub wasn't my destination. Instead, I headed for the line of people queuing up waiting for the Albion players to come off the bus. I hadn't been this close to the players since 1995 and my dressing room experience. Our fans shouted, "Baggies!" as the players came off the coach. They gave us a nice smile and wave. It was time for business. This was the game where, for me, the Lee Hughes and Jason Roberts strike partnership was really starting to blossom. Roberts scored twice as we won 2-1. At last, I'd seen us win away again. Hurrah! I remember Roberts' winning goal came right in front of us as he swept home a Lee Hughes cross. I went balmy. We were up to 5th. We've been here before, I thought. Let's just take it as it comes. I couldn't wait to ring Dad on the way back on the coach to tell him all about it. But that phone call wasn't what I expected. As Dad answered the phone, the usual, "Hello, you okay?" or "How are you?" etc. from me, before getting ready to provide my match report on the game. But before I could begin, Dad said, "No, not really." It was Dad's joint business he had with his partner. There'd been a break-in. I felt bad. But Dad was okay. I ended up talking more about the break-in than the game. But family comes first before football in situations like this, doesn't it? We all know that. Yet 3 points did still cheer Dad up. Boing, boing, he ended the conversation with. Albion trailing by a 0-0 here at Hillsborough. Here is Clement with a long, lofty ball over the halfway line. It'll go. Hughes will try and chase this now. That's good defending from Sheffield Wednesday. Walker heads it out, but it will be a throw in to West Brom. Hughes gets it back. Hughes with a cross, right-footed. Roberts with the header. Yes, it's an equaliser for West Bromwich Albion. And it's Jason Roberts. Well, Hughes with a delightful cross from the left-hand side, curled it right-footed. And there is Jason Roberts on the edge of the 6-yard box, heads the ball in at the near post. And West Bromwich Albion are back on level terms here at Hillsborough. It's Sheffield Wednesday 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. As Brian Jensen will take that very comfortably. Will they boot the ball forward? Over the halfway, it's a long bouncing ball as well. Sheffield Wednesday can't deal with it at the moment. Roberts has won it back, then McInnes does well. Out to the left-hand side of Hughes, pulls the back, and Roberts! It's 2-1! And West Brom have turned it around here at Hillsborough. Jason Roberts! It's Sheffield Wednesday 1, West Bromwich Albion 2. Hughes and Roberts combine again. And it was, well, Sheffield Wednesday just couldn't get rid of the ball. McInnes recycled it. Out to left to Hughes, low cross into the area, and there's Jason Roberts, Johnny on the spot, 6-yard area, slides the ball in. Sheffield Wednesday 1, West Bromwich Albion 2. Our 8-game unbeaten league run came to an end though. A very strange 3-2 defeat to Norwich City. We'd looked so proud keeping clean sheets, keeping 5 shutouts from our first 11 league fixtures. But for some reason, this loss to the Canaries was littered with defensive errors. Once again though, this new-look solid West Brom side under Gary Megson was to bounce back with another clean sheet, this time in the Black Country derby as we beat Wolves 1-0. A certain West Brom supporter finally broke his duck for the club and living the dream he must have craved as a kid. What a moment for him. 16 minutes gone in this Black Country derby. Still West Bromwich Albion 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Here is Rule Fox, joined from Tottenham Hotspur of course in the summer. And Gary Megson's new fresh signings, but Fox almost lost the ball there, but he's won it back from Branch, clips it forward, right-footed, over the halfway line it will go. Peacock and Hughes are in a battle. Peacock, let it go, oh Hughes is in, he's gone down in the area, what will the referee do? It's a penalty! It's a penalty to West Bromwich Albion! And Lee Hughes is brought down by Darren Peacock. Well, Peacock was the man in favour of the ball in the first place. Hughes got in front of him into the area and Peacock gives him a shove. Down goes Hughes. Penalty to West Bromwich Albion. Just seeing it again on the TV monitor. Hughes does brilliantly well to get the better of Peacock, and there's a bit of a shoulder barge between the two, and well, that's a penalty. Referee says yes, and I think he's right as well. Definitely a push. Shoulder barge, too much strength. Penalty to West Bromwich Albion. So Lee Hughes has the responsibility. He's never scored against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and he has the opportunity from the penalty spot. The boyhood baggy. What can he do? He puts the ball on the spot. The crowd await in anticipation. It's in front of the Wolverhampton Wanderers supporters in the Smethwick end. Lee Hughes takes the steps away. He steps up right-footed and gives West Bromwich Albion the lead in the Black Country derby. Sends Michael Oakes the wrong way. Right-footed, slots it into the left-hand corner. Oakes dives to his left. The wrong way, of course, and West Bromwich Albion take the lead here. And Lee Hughes silences the Wolves supporters for the first time from a personal point of view. But more importantly, West Bromwich Albion have drawn first blood in the Black Country derby. It's West Bromwich Albion 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. A 2-2 draw at Tranmere Rovers was next. Hughes and Roberts at last on the score sheet together. It had been coming, to be fair, before my first ever employed job offer came along. Now, as you would have heard earlier in the episode, I'd passed my IT course and was certainly working on my new out on the pitch football project, which I'd called it. I'd been for a couple of part-time jobs to help fund the project, but nothing, until a company from Bilston came along and offered me an office junior position after a short interview. The problem was, they offered me the job full-time. My Albion spinning head thought, shall I take it? I could go to more away games because I could pay by myself and not eat into my pocket money. Plus all my friends at the time were in jobs and earning money. I was the odd one out. I decided to take it. I was starting in November in just a few weeks' time. Without any hesitation, I got straight on the phone to the Albion ticket office and ordered an away ticket for Huddersfield Town. A ground I'd been to last season with Dad and enjoyed apart from the result. I couldn't wait. The Out on the Pitch football project sadly nosedived and I cancelled everything, as I just didn't have the time with my new job starting. Before that though, we battered Wimbledon 3-1 at the Hawthorns in midweek, before suffering our first away defeat since August, 2-0 at Grimsby. A below-par performance in a 1-1 draw with Burnley was next, before my second away trip of the season arrived. I'd inherited a couple of people on this Huddersfield trip though. By now, me and my cousin Stephen were simply inseparable. You know, the one who came to Sheffield United and saw us lose 6-0 on his first ever away trip. Surely he won't bring us that bad luck again, will he, I thought? We were now like best mates. He would stay over mine the weekend, I'd stay over his the next weekend. With me being shy and him being so confident, he took me under his wing and really helped me grow as a person. And I have to thank him for that. I was so engrossed into being inside all the time. The glandular fever obviously hadn't helped, but I just didn't want to go out. Unless it was Albion, of course. I was constantly at my computer from day until night. He soon knocked that out of me, and this trip was certainly an eye-opener. So anyway, him and his best mate came along. We did our usual bacon sandwich on the coach, etc. When we got to the ground, Steve was immediately like, "Where's the nearest pub?" "I don't know," I said. "I don't go to pubs." We eventually found a pub about 10 minutes from the ground. He and his mate downed the pints, while I decided to join in with just the 1 point. We then got to the ground and they were already plastered by the time we got there. How we got in, I don't know. But we did. As mentioned, I'm not a big drinker, but my worst feeling and fear, being drunk or merry while I'm watching the Albion. I want to watch my beloved Baggies fully focused. That's just how I am. So you'll never see me under the influence of alcohol when I'm watching West Brom. On the other hand, my cousin and his friend continued their drinking feast in the ground. Fast forward the first goal from us being scored by our new Portuguese midfielder, Jordão. And they had to ask me who scored the goal because of their pie-eyed view. After the second goal, they went back down for more drinks. We eventually won 2-0. My second away trip of the season, my second victory. At last, my away day hoodoo was gone. And we'd now got one hell of a football team to watch. Albion looking to bounce back from the last two results, a defeat to Grimsby and a 1-1 draw with Burnley. And here they are down the left-hand side. Look at the attack in those yellow shirts. Here is Hughes. He picks out Jordão. Here's a chance. Jordão! It's 1-0 to West Bromwich Albion. Oh, what a great finish from the Angolan midfielder. Well, Hughes picked out Jordão, left side of the area, and his cool finish, right-footed low, into the bottom corner, gives West Bromwich Albion the perfect start here. It's Huddersfield Town 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. And it is Jordão's first West Bromwich Albion goal. What a way to get it and open your account. And again, feeds it out to the right-hand side. Albion again attacking this Huddersfield back line. They've started so well. Here is Hughes now. Edge of the area, Lee Hughes! Oh, that is brilliant from Lee Hughes! It's 2-0 to the Baggies. And Lee Hughes with a super left-footed curler into the top left-hand corner. Oh, what a finish! And West Brom are 2 goals to the good here at the McAlpine Stadium. Well, once again attacking the Huddersfield back line. They haven't known what to do, and Lee Hughes, right side of the area, from about 20 yards out, cuts inside the defender, left-footed, curls it into the far left corner. It's a super strike from Hughes, and Albion lead by 2-0. And we've not even had half an hour played. Huddersfield Town 0, West Bromwich Albion 2. Back-to-back 3-1 home victories over Gillingham and Preston, where a certain Michael Appleton impressed for the visitors. So much so that Megson signed him shortly after. But reversing back to the Gillingham game. Mum had not been well and was recovering after being in hospital. Dad had spoken to the club and kindly set up a surprise for Mum. It was to watch an Albion game in one of the executive boxes in the Hawthorns lane. But that wasn't the end of the surprise. Dad had arranged for a mystery guest to come and see her at the Hawthorns. And that mystery guest was Mum's favourite player. None other than my favourite player, of course, Super Bob Taylor. Now, I'm sure many of you by now would have met Bob somewhere along the line and realised what an absolute gentleman he is off the pitch. And this is why he is simply my favourite ever West Brom player too. He spent over an hour on a personal basis with Mum, even turning down autographs and pictures just for that period, saying, "I've come to see this lady. She's not been well." He even signed a get well card. He means that much to Mum. that there is even a great big picture of the legend himself scoring that goal against Crystal Palace, hanging up on the wall as you walk into their house, signed by Bob, of course. It's moved through 3 houses so far and always been put up on the wall to greet you as you walk in. In both of those victories over Preston and Gillingham, there were 2 Lee Hughes hat-tricks before our ginger-ninja striker did his best to claim the winning goal at Wimbledon in a 1-0 win. But there was definitely no chance of claiming that, as the ball clearly came off defender Mark Williams' head last before going into his own net. Still, I can't blame him for trying, I suppose, as it would have been his 8th goal in 3 games. Hughes really was now back to the prolific striker we'd come to love.
Corner to Gillingham from this right-hand side. In it goes. It's ricocheted off Butler, and Clement comes away with it for West Bromwich Albion. Oh, he skips away from the tackle. Here is Neil Clement now surging over the halfway line. Picks out Sneakers. Albion are breaking here, and they're breaking well. Sneakers slips into Hughes. Hughes! Oh, what a great finish from Lee Hughes. Well, Richard Sneakers slipped the ball through right side of the area, and Hughes takes the finish beautifully, right-footed into the left corner and past the despairing dive of Gillingham goalkeeper Vince Bartram, who is in fact a West Bromwich Albion supporter. Well, for this one, he certainly won't like that going past him, and Albion have taken the lead. It is West Bromwich Albion 1, Gillingham 0. Thrown to West Bromwich Albion. Des Little will take it on this near side, just by the dugout, throws it down the line. Fox back to Little. Little with the first time ball over the top. Taylor was trying to chase it, but Bartram comes out of his goal for Gillingham. Hooks the ball clear. Gillingham can't get rid of it again. Here's Little. Albion, Fox. Oh, that is wonderful skill from Rolf Fox, and he keeps the ball in. Beautiful from Fox. He could pick out Hughes. He does. Here is Hughes. 2-0 to West Bromwich Albion. Oh, that's lovely play from Albion, that really is. Gillingham are going absolutely spare on the touchline here. Tony Pulis, the Gillingham manager, he is not happy at all. He thinks the ball ran out. Well, lovely play from Rolf Fox to skip his way past the Gillingham fullback, keep the ball in, and the whole ball has to be over the line, and I don't think it was. But Fox galloped his way towards the Gillingham area, slid the ball into Lee Hughes, right side of the area, and he slams it in to the near post of the netting. Great finish from West Bromwich Albion, and Lee Hughes has his 2nd of the game. It's West Bromwich Albion 2, Gillingham 0. Bartram with the long clearance into the second half here at the Hawthorns. Albion lead by 2-0. Russo trying to take control of it. Sneakers gets there ahead of him. Clement slides in. Gillingham trying to win the back. Shaw tries to get it back for Gillingham, but it's not going to happen. Jordao. Oh, lovely galloping play from Jordao, stretching those long legs of his. Finds Lee Hughes. Chance for the hat-trick. Lee Hughes gets the hat-trick. And West Bromwich Albion lead by 3-0 now. Jordao with lovely footwork. He produced the goal. It was his works inside the centre circle. He just picked the ball up and calmly worked his way towards the Gillingham area. Saw Hughes, left side of the area, and Lee Hughes slots it underneath Bartram into the bottom right-hand corner in front of the Birmingham Road end. He takes the applause, and West Bromwich Albion take the applause. There's that dance again. It's West Bromwich Albion 3, Gillingham 0. Albion have a throw in down this left-hand side, just by the corner flag and to the Smethwick end. Here is Fox, does well. Well, he's gone down. Referee says no. Nothing doing. Jordao for West Bromwich Albion. Back to Clement. Clement's under pressure here. Albion under the cosh a little bit there. Then Carbon finds Clement. Left-hand side. Clement clips the ball into Hughes. Controls it well. Albion moving forward. Gregan was trying to pressurise him, but Hughes does well. Little into Hughes. Could be a chance here. Lee Hughes! Oh, what a goal from Lee Hughes! Oh, absolutely brilliant! That's a good 25 yards out. He let the ball run into his path and then curled it beautifully left-footed into the left-hand corner. What a finish from Lee Hughes, and Albion have taken the lead here. Well, he's on fire at the moment following that hat-trick against Gillingham. He's on the score sheet again. It's West Bromwich Albion 1, Preston North End 0. Well, Albion Having been pegged back by that equaliser, it is West Bromwich Albion 1, Preston North End 1. Brian Jensen will clear it forward though, left-footed, big long booting over the halfway line. Oh, flick headed by Greg, and then it's going to fall for Hughes, right side of the area. Here is Hughes, he's got options left and right, puts it back in there, it's away by Gregan. Here's McKenna for Preston, gives the ball away only as far as Little. Little finds Hughes, Preston one offside. Hughes, oh, that is brilliant. Oh, he doesn't score, tap-ins Lee Hughes at the moment. It's another cracker from the Ginger Ninja. And West Bromwich Albion have got their lead back. Well, Little setting up for him. And he's about 18 yards out on the right-hand side of the area. Lee Hughes just takes control of it and thinks, why not? I'll have a go. And my word, what a brilliant finish. Right-footed, slams it into the near post of the netting. And West Bromwich Albion are back in front. It's West Bromwich Albion 2, Preston North End 1. Clearance again from Jensen. Taylor looks to flick it on. Hughes and Gregan are in a battle. Lee Hughes! Oh, it's another hat-trick! Oh, that's surely the best of the lot, that one! Oh, absolutely brilliant. Well, he was in a battle with Sean Gregan. He let the ball bounce over him. And then on the half volley, let the ball bounce. He struck it right-footed, 25 yards out. And the ball loops over the Preston keeper into the back of the net. It's a superb strike from Lee Hughes. And it's a second hat-trick within a week. Scored a hat-trick at Gillingham. Well, he's got another one this afternoon. And West Brom look like they'll be repeating the scoreline as well. It's West Bromwich Albion 3. Preston North End 1.
But our 5-game unbeaten run came to an end as we were defeated at the Hawthorns 3-1 by an up-and-coming Fulham side who were to go on and win the First Division title very comfortably, despite a new loan signing Tony Grant from Manchester City making his debut, who really did add some additional quality to our midfield. I like Grant very much, an intelligent player with his passing, and he could tackle as well. He gave us the balance we just hadn't quite got at that time. We couldn't afford to sign him permanently though, I believe. Des Little scored our first goal for the club since joining on a permanent deal from Watford. Talking of Watford, they were our next opponents at Vicarage Road. I remember being out and about for this one with my mate who had just passed his driving test. He was showing off, of course, so we went for a drive while the game was on. Now text alerts had come into the equation, which of course I'd got on my Nokia 3210. Yes, still got that phone. It was basically text messages that would be sent to your phone as an alert. We take them for granted now, but at the time it was a huge deal. So it meant we didn't have to always rely on listening to the radio. These were live text updates of team news, goals. I'm not sure if it was a free service or if you had to pay for it, but it was brilliant nonetheless. And so anyway, I remember having 2 goal alerts come through. Watford 1, West Bromwich Albion 0, and then Watford 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. Well, that was it, I thought. Game's over now. So I just ignored my alerts and carried on having fun with my mate. We stopped off somewhere called the Egg Factory in Bridge North, or that sort of way anyway, as that's where my mate used to work. He wanted to show his new car off to his workmates. Fair enough. So we ended up chatting to these workers and just forgetting about the game. After a little while, we got back in the car, and I thought, I may as well check my phone to see what the damage is. How many was it? I dreaded to even look at it, to be honest. As I checked, I thought it read Watford 3, West Bromwich Albion 2. I thought, wow, what a game, at least we're back in it now. But when I checked it again, I was wrong. It was Watford 2, West Bromwich Albion 3. I was astonished. We'd come back from 2 goals down to lead 3-2. Something we hadn't done since Ozzy Aldelis was in charge. I remember shouting, yes, yes, yes. My mate said, what's the matter? Albion are winning. I said, oh, well that's good then. He hated football. He couldn't care less what the score was. But obviously, he was happy for me. Yet no sooner than he finished that conversation, the phone pinged again. It was Watford 3, West Bromwich Albion 3. And that is how it finished. Well, here at Vicarage Road, it hasn't started well for West Bromwich Albion, that's for certain. It's Watford 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. Here is James Chambers, hooks the ball over the halfway line. Roberts is trying to get on the end of it. The ball is bouncing on the edge of the D. Fox doesn't get there. Hughes does with an effort. Oh! Great save in the end. Well, the Watford keeper to push it away. As Albion have a free kick, it's going to be Rule Fox to take it. Clips it into the area. It's gone over everybody. There's Hughes. Oh, it's over the bar from Lee Hughes. Oh, what a chance for West Bromwich Albion to get themselves back into it. It was a free kick from Desmond Little from the right-hand side. Watford didn't deal with it. When the ball ricocheted its way back to Hughes, he puts it over the bar with his left foot from 6 yards out. You would absolutely put your mortgage on Hughes finishing there, but he hasn't, and it still remains Watford 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. Here come Albion again. They really have started this second half well. Here's Roberts, turns away from his man. Lovely ball over to the right-hand side to Fox. Albion coming forward in numbers here. Little to the right. Fox goes for the cross. Hughes with a header. Yes, it's in there. Albion have got one back. And it's Lee Hughes with the goal. Well, he's threatened all afternoon to score. He missed one not so long ago, but now he's found the back of the net. And it was Rule Fox with the delivery from the right-hand side. A delightful cross into Hughes, coming in 7 yards out. Downward header into the right-hand corner. Micah Hyde tries to clear it off the line. He cannot get there. The ball is in the net. And West Bromwich Albion are back in it. It's Watford 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. Hughes gets the ball and races towards the centre circle. Well, here we go. Here's Tommy Mooney at the other end. Oh, over the bar for Watford. Oh, what a chance there to make it 3-1. Well, I think Brian Jensen might well have touched that over the bar, you know. Another throw-in for West Bromwich Albion as here they come, desperate to try and get the equaliser. Little throws it down the line. Sneakers hooks the ball, high one into the area. Oh, Barton dropped it. It's gone in. It's gone into the back of the net. And West Bromwich Albion are back level here at Vicarage Road. Well, the hook cross from Richard Sneakers from the right-hand side is pretty much on the byline. And Barton, it's an easy collection, but he drops the ball into his own net. And West Bromwich Albion have come back from 2 goals down to 2-2. Well, now we've got a game on our hands, haven't we? Here at Vicarage Road, it's Watford 2, West Bromwich Albion 2. Sneakers is doing his best to claim it, but I don't think he's going to get it. And Albion are coming forward again, my word. Just imagine if they could snatch a third. Here's Hughes, now Grant. Over the halfway line, picks out Clement. Clement's on a run, down the left-hand side. He's into the central position. He picks out Roberts. Here's Roberts running at the defender. Jason Roberts! It's 3-2 to West Bromwich Albion. Oh, what a comeback this could be. Here at Vicarage Road. Well, Neil Clement picked up the pass from Tony Grant on the halfway line. He bombed towards the Watford penalty area. And then picked out Jason Roberts, whose lovely little swerving control and then a beautiful finish into the bottom right-hand corner. And West Bromwich Albion have come back from 2 goals down to lead 3-2. Dramatic stuff here at the Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, West Bromwich Albion 3. A 3-0 victory over Nottingham Forest soon put the disappointment of not holding on against the Hornets behind us. Jason Roberts was exceptional in this one, scoring twice. Now, if you'd listened to my previous episodes, you'd know I mentioned where I sat as a season ticket holder, and that a very famous Albion supporter sat nearby. Any guesses yet? Well, that famous Albion supporter was Adrian Chiles. Yes, that's right. Adrian used to sit 3 seats away from me with his dad and his granddad. I think at the time he was working for Radio 5 Live. His wife at the time, Jane Garvey, sometimes used to come to the game as well. So Adrian practically saw me grow up from a young boy into an adult. I'd never actually spoken to him, but my dad used to have the odd words with his dad and granddad about the game, etc. Anyway, for this particular game, he wasn't there. So Dad asked his dad where he was, and he'd been invited to do the co-commentary alongside John Dunn for the Albion season video. I remember being very envious and jealous, as of course you should know by now my love for football commentary. I was still too shy to ask when I saw him at the next game though, but my time with Adrian was to come a little later down the line in future episodes. Well, we're closing in on the Christmas fixtures very soon, just before Christmas Eve here. It is West Bromwich Albion against Nottingham Forest. Here is Van Blurk on the right-hand side, tries the cross, it's blocked. Forrester coming away with the ball. Is Prutton now on the run, over the halfway line. David Prutton trying to take on everybody here. Prutton, he picks out on the left-hand side. Chambers is trying to win it back for West Bromwich Albion. Still Forest have it. There's a left-footed ball into the area, deflects away. Clement will pick up the pieces, then Roberts. And here's Grant for West Brom. Lovely ball from Tony Grant. Over to the left-hand side. Here's Clement now. Albion have swung from defence to attack. Clement waiting for support. Now he finds Sneakers. Sneakers into the feet of Roberts. Lovely turn from Jason Roberts. Oh, what a finish from Jason Roberts. Oh, that's absolutely splendid from the new 2 million club record signing. Well, it was Sneakers who picked him out, and Roberts on the edge of the Nottingham Forest penalty area, on the corner of it, cut inside and curled it beautifully, right-footed into the top right corner, and West Bromwich Albion have taken the lead here against Nottingham Forest. It's West Bromwich Albion 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Clement again now. Going to leave it, is he, for Grant? Albion have a free kick just 10 yards inside the Nottingham Forest half. Clement's going to leave it for Grant, is he? Yes, he is. Clement short one to Grant. Grant now, lovely ball inside to Roberts, who's got his back to goal. He's been muscled right on the edge of the area, finds Rule Fox. Fox picks out Des Little. Here is Little now, cuts in. Albion still have it, 10 yards outside the Forest penalty area. Here's Hughes. He might fancy it. Down the right-hand side, there's the cross. Towards the back post. Oh, it's come off for Forest play and it's gone in! And West Bromwich Albion lead by 2-0. I think it's an own goal. An unfortunate own goal as well. But Albion won't care. They now lead by 2-0. As Forest have a throw, it's taken quickly. On the halfway line, given away, Albion win it back. Clement battling away, does really well. He'll leave it for James Chambers now. Chambers, lovely ball into Roberts. Albion coming forward again. There's the ball over the top from Grant. Releases Hughes down the right-hand side. Here's Hughes into the penalty area. Lee Hughes goes on the outside. Still Hughes. Battling away. Gets his cross in. There's the header, and it's Jason Roberts again. And that's his second of the afternoon. And that surely has sealed all 3 points now. Here at the Hawthorns, it's a happy Christmas for the Baggies. It's West Bromwich Albion 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Christmas had arrived, and we were sitting 4th in the table. Could this finally be our year of giving it a good go at the top of the table for once, instead of being mid-table and down the bottom? I just went along with it, to be honest. I was just enjoying every Albion win as they came. But back to Christmas Day, and I'd finished opening all my Christmas presents and was all set to start looking at them in detail, as you do, when Dad came over and gave me an envelope. He said it was just a little something. Well, of course, I thought it was just an extra Christmas card. But as I opened it, my eyes glazed wide open, as in front of me were 6 tickets. The first 3 said Bolton Wanderers versus West Bromwich Albion. Then the next 3 said official West Bromwich Albion coach travel. I jumped for joy. Another Albion away game. Me, Mum and Dad all going as a family. Yes, that's made my Christmas. And a nice ground to tick off as well, I thought, as the Reebok Stadium, as it was then called, had only been formed a few years previous. And the day was perfect from start to finish. A thoroughly good family day out, catching up with Mum and Dad, as we won 1-0 thanks to a Jason Roberts solitary first half goal. Bouncing back from a Boxing Day defeat at Sheffield United, thanks Mum and Dad for picking the right away game. My winning streak of watching the Albion win away was continuing.
It certainly is a cold, blustery day here on Boxing Day at the Reebok Stadium. There's the clearance forward. Oh, it's come to Sneakers and he plays it through to Roberts. Roberts here. He's round the keeper. Jason Roberts. And West Bromwich Albion have taken the lead here just before half-time. What a moment to score. And Jason Roberts with a fine finish. It was Sneakers who played the ball through, split the Bolton back line into pieces. There's Roberts, round the keeper on the outside of him, and rolls the ball into the bottom left-hand corner. It's a fine finish. We've been accustomed to see this Jason Roberts, the pace that he shows. He showed it again there. Bolton had no answer to that. And West Bromwich Albion take the lead here at the Reebok Stadium. On Boxing Day, it's Bolton Wanderers 0, West Bromwich Albion 1.
We followed that up with another 1-0 win, this time over Barnsley at the Hawthorns. That made it 3 wins from 4 over the Christmas period. What was the matter with us? Albion winning games over Christmas? It was unheard of in my time supporting the club at that period. We used to always be poor at Christmas. I don't know why, but this one, we certainly weren't. Another meeting with Premiership side Derby County, this time in the FA Cup, was next. But despite a heroic fight back after being 3 goals down, if I remember right, Taylor and Hughes' goals weren't enough, as we were beaten 3-2. A rare defeat to Queen's Park Rangers set us back in the league, before once again that sturdy Albion team, full of fight, spirit and hard work, bounced back as we had done all season, beating Sheffield United 2-1. During the game, guess who scored for Sheffield United? That pesky Canadian again, wasn't it? Paul Pesky Salido. I wanted to hate him, but I just couldn't, because I loved him when he played for us. There'd been a bit of needle between Lee Hughes and Neil Warnock as well during the match, and it may have been prior too. So when Hughes struck the winning goal, he ran straight in front of the dugout and pointed to his shirt, number 10 Hughes, on the back, to Warnock to remind him that he'd scored. Let's just say it didn't go down too well with Mr. Warnock. Here's Tony Butler for West Bromwich Albion now. Goes to his left-sided centre-half, Matt Carbon. He'll hit the diagonal towards the Sheffield United penalty area on that right-hand side. Ball will come up back out to Hughes, though. He finds Raul Fox. It's good football from West Bromwich Albion. Now Igor Balis, the new Slovakian signing, finds Hughes down the right-hand side. It'll come back to Balis now. Balis now on the corner of the penalty area. What's he going to do? Picks out Fox. Here's Raul Fox. Opportunity! Yes! West Bromwich Albion has scored! And it's Raul Fox's first in a West Brom shirt. Well, Igor Balis, nice little short pass into Fox. He's on the corner of the penalty area, down the right-hand side. He cuts in and slams it low, right-footed off the left post. The ball rolls into the back of the net, in front of the Birmingham Road end. And West Bromwich Albion have taken the lead here at the Hawthorns. It's West Bromwich Albion 1, Sheffield United 0. Well, that Sheffield United goal from ex-West Brom striker Paul Pesky Salido means it's currently 1-1 here at the Hawthorns. But Albion will have a corner from this right-hand side. Raul Fox will take it. Right-footed, in it goes. There's a header in there. Hughes! Yes! It's 2-1 to West Brom! Oh, what a finish from Lee Hughes! It just came to him inside the 6-yard area, and he slams it with his right foot. He's on his backside pretty much, but he won't care, nor will West Brom. It's West Bromwich Albion 2, Sheffield United 1. I think it was a flick from Jordao from the corner. Well, Hughes runs straight over to the dugout, points towards the number 10, and Neil Warnock, of course, the Sheffield United manager. There's been a bit of afters between the two, and Hughes, well, kisses the badge, and West Bromwich Albion lead by 2-1. 2 successive draws with Crystal Palace and Stockport County, where a certain Kevin Cooper scored for County. He was so close to signing for us at one stage, but ended up at Wolves in the end. I'm glad he did, because the player we signed instead of him at a later date was to be one of my favourite ever West Bromwich Albion players, even to this day. Now, I know you know my love for Super Bob, and of course he will always be my favourite. But this guy, for talent and for the way he could just basically showboat on a football pitch. I think you know now who I'm talking about. But I'll tell you that later, if you don't. More on him in later episodes. But next up was another away game for me. Now 17 and just a couple of months away from turning into an official adult at 18 years of age, my cousin Paul asked if I wanted to go to an away game as an early birthday present. I had to pay for the ticket myself, but he would drive. That was the deal. Sounded good to me. My first ever trip to St Andrews, Birmingham City of course, and my first ever taste of a local derby away from home against the Blues. We were behind the goal in the Jill Merrick stand, I think they call it. It was also the first experience of standing up at a West Brom game for the full 90 minutes. I went to sit down and I noticed I was the only one doing so. The stewards tried to get us to sit down, but they failed miserably. Talking about misery, that was how I felt after the game as we lost 2-1. But apart from the result, I'd had a great day. Sadly, my away game winning run had come to an end. We put that defeat to Blues behind us though, with 4 points from our next 6 as we continue to cement a playoff place. Still for me, just going along each game, taking it in, not believing we're going to make the playoff places come the end of the season. A narrow defeat to Blackburn before a 1-0 win at Norwich City, thanks to another Lee Hughes penalty, kept us on course. 2 losses, first to Sheffield Wednesday at the Hawthorns, and then a disastrous 3-1 defeat to Wolves at Molineux, where George Undar certainly got his own back after he'd gone off injured in the previous season following that Matt Carbon tackle. Clement scored the best goal of the game with a thunderous left foot strike, but that was as good as it got. And my Wolves mate, who lived down the road, made sure he knocked my door again to remind me of the score. Though, as mentioned, this squad knew how to bounce back, winning 2-1 over Tranmere Rovers. Super Bob Taylor at the double, while a certain Jason Kumas scored for Tranmere. I remember watching him and thinking, why can't Albion sign a play like that? Those dazzling feet, natural ability to jink past players like they weren't there. And he'd been brilliant for Tranmere in their FA Cup run as well. 6 minutes to go here at the Hawthorns, still West Bromwich Albion 0, Tranmere Rovers 0. But that could change. Here's Lee Hughes down the right-hand side of the area, pulls it back to Taylor. Oh, it's got a bit stuck here. Still Taylor holds the ball up. Sneakers back to Taylor. Oh, that's a brilliant goal from West Bromwich Albion. And it's Bob Taylor, right-footed low into the bottom corner. Well, he comes up trumps when he's needed, doesn't he, Bob Taylor? He's done so again there. And West Bromwich Albion lead by a goal to 0. Sneakers setting him up. Edge of the Tranmere area, right-footed, low effort, into the bottom left corner. And West Bromwich Albion take the lead. It's West Bromwich Albion 1, Tranmere Rovers 0. Sneakers gets in there, and there's a ball over the top from Sneakers, and Taylor chasing the Tranmere defender. Oh, he's delivered and and Taylor will punish him! And he does exactly that! Lobbing the ball over the Tranmere goalkeeper and into the back of the net for his second of the afternoon. Well, what on earth Tranmere were doing at the back there, I don't know, but Bob Taylor won't care. He's took full advantage. Sneakers with the ball over the top of the Tranmere defence. The defender was letting the ball go to shield it, to knock the ball back to his keeper. He dallied, Taylor got in, and there he is, right-footed lob over the goalie into the back of the net. West Bromwich Albion 2, Tranmere Rovers 0. We followed up with a brilliant 3-0 win over Watford, before my next away game was at Craven Cottage against Jean Tigiana's Fulham, who were cruising to the First Division League title. I went with my cousin Stephen on the official coach travel, and we played tremendously well. Louis Sahar was playing for Fulham, making a name for himself and causing us real problems. But we held out and defended magnificently to secure a goalless draw. I remember us giving the players a huge cheer at the end of the game, and they all came over at the end with Megson. And nearly every player chucked their shirts into the crowd. It was a massive sign that we were together as one, and closing in on an absolute dream of a playoff place. I would have eaten your hat if you'd have said we'd be in this position at the start of the season, said my cousin, as we walked out to the ground. Albion looking to break the deadlock in this one. They haven't been able to do so at the moment, but they might do here. Is James Quinn. Oh, he's gone for it from distance. Bolson's dropped it. It's gone in. And West Bromwich Albion have taken the lead here at the Hawthorns. And it's James Quinn's first league goal of the season. Well, he's not much of a regular fixture these days, with Lee Hughes and Jason Roberts, of course, up front. And Raul Fox taking his place on the right, but he's in today. And he's managed to get Albion ahead as well. Coming off the bench to score from distance. Bardson dropped the ball, and it was a long effort from 20 yards out. Great effort from Quinn, but Bardson, well, he could have done better really. Dived to his left, but couldn't hold on to it, and the ball rolled over the line. But West Brom lead by a goal to nil. It's West Bromwich Albion 1, Watford 0. Here's Neil Clement now with a long ball. Oh, Bardson's made a mess of it again. Hughes! Oh, Hughes has punished him. It's 2-0. Oh, what on earth was Bardson doing there? Well, Neil Clement with a long punting left-footed ball over the top of the Watford back line. Bardson came to meet it. He completely messed it up. Hughes was there, heads in over the keeper. Into the back of the net it goes. And West Brom lead by 2-0 now. From a stale first half to a sumptuous second, it's West Bromwich Albion 2, Watford 0. Albion, so it's a free kick here, 25 yards out on this right-hand side. Neil Clement will favour it with that left foot. He's certainly got an opportunity here to show what he can do. Clement with that left foot. Oh, that's what he can do! It's a brilliant strike from Neil Clement. Over the wall, into the back of the net. Bardson, no chance whatsoever. And West Bromwich Albion are cruising to 3 points here at the Hawthorns as they continue to cement a playoff place. Well, what a goal from Neil Clement. Talk about a free kick specialist. West Brom may have found one here. Neil Clement, beautiful left foot ball over the Watford wall, into the back of the net. West Bromwich Albion 3, Watford 0. I even went to the next away game at Burnley. Now I was really starting to get the Albion away bug. I took my mate Chris, who is not into football whatsoever, and still isn't to this day. He's one of those into cars and bikes. I tell you what though, he's got 9 lives like a cat. He's had some car accidents and bike accidents in his time. The worst one was when he crashed his Mini into a brick wall of a house just on the cusp of a place called Wall Heath. He broke his 2 legs, 2 arms and his pelvis and was on a life support machine for a couple of days. But somehow he pulled out of it. It was all over the news and all the newspapers at the time. I tell him all the time he is one hell of a lucky guy to have escaped it. He's got metal plates in his arms and legs now, but you wouldn't know it. Amazing how he got out of it alive, but thankfully he did. Anyway, back to the story. And he came to the game with me, as I didn't want to go on my own. And when Taylor equalised, he was still sitting down, because he didn't know we'd even scored. And what was going on, he said. I was trying to get him into football, and Albion, of course, but it just didn't work. Well, Albion trailing by a goal to nil, following that Glenn Little strike early on. But here's a cross into the area, Taylor with a header! And West Bromwich Albion have equalised with 12 minutes to go here at Turf Moor. It's Super Bob Taylor with the header, coming off the bench to score. A crucial equaliser here. Well, as I say, Albion had been behind following that early strike from Glenn Little, and Burnley really had been the better side, but West Brom have finally got the equaliser, and it's Bob Taylor coming off the bench to head the ball in from across from the right hand side. It's Burnley 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. A 1-0 home defeat to Grimsby Town was soon put to bed as we beat Gillingham 2-1 in Kent. Their goalkeeper Vince Bartram, who I mentioned earlier in the episode, was a big West Brom fan. Vince's dad Arthur was actually Mum's boss at work for years, so Mum knew the Bartram family reasonably well, and what huge Albion fans they were. Vince actually joined us on a short loan back in 1991, but I don't believe he played a senior game, which was a shame. His dad would have loved that. Anyway, that victory was to move us into 4th place, with 2 games to go. But that position in the table was extremely precarious, as we could still drop out of the playoffs if we didn't pick up at least a point from our last 2 matches. Thankfully, we sealed the incredible, drawing 1-1 at home to Huddersfield Town. Again, Adrian Charles was missing from his seat in the Hawthorns lane stand, as he was once again on co-commentary duty. No time for jealousy this time though. We'd done it. A guaranteed place in the playoffs. It felt amazing. My team, West Bromwich Albion, would now have a 25% chance of Premiership football next season for the first time in my Albion supporting life. Well, Albion know they could secure a playoff place this afternoon, even with a point if results go their way. But they won all 3, don't they? They won all 3, but at the moment it's just not going their way. Andy Booth giving Huddersfield the lead after just the first few minutes here at the Hawthorns. So it is West Bromwich Albion 0, Huddersfield 1. So Holt will go to take the kick here just outside his own penalty area. Free kick to West Bromwich Albion. And launch this forward. Is he right-footed? Yes, he is. Over the halfway line it will go. Roberts is up there to try and flick. It's beaten away though in the air. Here come Huddersfield again on the right-hand side, trying to take possession. Albion just need to see themselves back in the game. Here's Appleton, sneakers now, slips it through. Roberts is in here. Jason Roberts is round the keeper. Surely he'll score, and yes he does. West Bromwich Albion are back on level terms. It's Jason Roberts, as he's accustomed to do on such a regular basis. There he is again. Sneakers with the ball through. Roberts completely through, round the goalkeeper, to the right side of him, and knocks it into the back of the net in front of the Smethwick end. And West Bromwich Albion are back on level terms here, and it's just what they needed as well. Right before the break, West Bromwich Albion 1, Huddersfield Town 1.
Norwich 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Nottingham Forest 0, Gillingham 1. Queen's Park Rangers 0, Stockport 3. Sheffield United 2, Burnley 0.
Bromwich Albion are in the playoff places. That's the confirmation they needed. The Burnley result means West Bromwich Albion cannot be caught now, and a top 6 place is confirmed. And Albion will pit their wits against whoever they will play in the playoffs for a chance for Premiership football next season. It's been one hell of a season for the Baggies, and it's not over yet. They go to Preston North End, of course, away next weekend. But for now, Albion are in the playoffs. It's finished here at the Hawthorns, a very delighted Hawthorns, where the Albion supporters, as you can imagine, will be partying for the night. West Bromwich Albion 1, Huddersfield 1. But West Bromwich Albion are in the First Division playoffs. We could have still finished 5th on the final day, but a 2-1 defeat to Preston North End ensured we dropped to 6th place. Still, it didn't matter. We were in the playoffs, and I was smiling like a Cheshire cat. We faced 3rd place Bolton Wanderers over 2 legs, managed by Sam Allardyce, a team we'd lost at home to, but won away to. Just before the first leg, I was celebrating my 18th birthday. It was at the Bell Inn pub in Treacle, and it was a smashing night. Of course, I had an Albion birthday cake, which I think I've still got a picture of, and I'll upload it to the X account if I ever find it. Loads of Albion birthday banners around the room. I hardly had a beer, even though I was now officially legal to do so. I was so nervous about the game the next day on the Sunday, as my party was on the Saturday. They played the Liquidator, of course, and we all sang to that. My 2 Wolves mates getting the brunt of it, of course. I remember being on the dance floor trying to dance, but failing spectacularly, when all of a sudden I burst into a chorus of "We are going up," said "We are going up." and about 20 of us was boing-boinging up and down on the dance floor, even my non-Albion mates. Apart from my Wolves pals, of course. They were in the corner drowning their sorrows after a 12th place finish. On to the game there. There was still a feeling of optimism in the air. We could do this, but we knew it was going to be tough. For me, it felt exactly like the Southampton players we've just endured. We were going in as pure underdogs. But there was still a feeling of, this just might happen if the things fall right on the day. And for 80 minutes, things fell perfectly in the first leg at the Hawthorns as we raced into a deserved 2-goal lead. Only to let them back in the game through that nemesis Gudni Bergson before a late penalty from Per Franson meant it would be all square going back to the Reebok Stadium for the second leg in midweek. I remember feeling absolutely devastated we let the lead slip, but at the same time still hoping it could happen. Here we are at the Hawthorns this afternoon. It is the First Division playoff semi-final first leg. It's where it all happens, isn't it? West Bromwich Albion against Bolton Wanderers. And if Albion can get themselves an advantage on the first leg, taking it back to the Reebok in midweek would be everything they would try and do. But here come Bolton. He's Farrelly now coming over the halfway line. Gareth Farrelly releases it down the right hand side and Bolton have got a break on here. There's a low ball into the area and Gilchrist just gets there in time. And now Clement will thump it clear over the halfway line. Oh, it's gone over everybody. Hughes is in here. Lee Hughes, great chance. Oh, it comes off the crossbar from Hughes. Oh, an inch away from giving Albion the lead there. Dave Butler, sneakers, pokes it through. Oh, Roberts is in here. Jason Roberts, an afterburn of pace. Roberts is 1-0 to West Bromwich Albion. Jason Roberts through from a sneakers ball. How many times have them two combined? Well, they've done it again. Richard Sneakers plays the ball through. Jason Roberts beats the Bolton back line through one-on-one with the Bolton keeper Jaskos Leinen and rolls it into the bottom left-hand corner. And West Bromwich Albion have drawn first blood in the playoffs here. It's West Bromwich Albion 1, Bolton Wanderers 0. Into the second half, and there's the throw in down the line from Clement. Roberts lets the ball come through. Now Hughes down the left hand side. Can Albion get a second here? Hughes gets the cross in right footed across everybody. It's headed away by Elliott, but it falls for Sneakers again for Albion. Into the feet of Fox, who flicks it all the way back over the halfway line into Butler. Plays it long down the right hand channel. Little heads it into Roberts. Here's Roberts into the air. Oh, it's gone down, and it's a penalty to West Bromwich Albion. The referee has no hesitation. It's Colin Hendry who takes down Jason Roberts, right side of the penalty area, just as he was about to cut in and shoot with that left foot. And West Bromwich Albion have a penalty here. What a big moment this could be. And Lee Hughes will be the man that steps up here from the spot. Can he give Albion a 2-0 lead? Hughes right footed. Yes, he can! Into the bottom right hand corner. He strokes it. And West Bromwich Albion lead by 2 goals to 0 here at the Hawthorns in the First Division playoff semi-final first leg. Absolutely amazing scenes here. The Albion fans are boinging. Lee Hughes does the dance celebration we all know and love. But more importantly, West Bromwich Albion lead by 2 goals to 0 here. It's West Bromwich Albion 2, Bolton Wanderers 0. Dad had fought tooth and nail to get us tickets for the second leg in Bolton. But he succeeded, along with a baggage travel seats. It was just me and Dad for this one, as although Mum was much better now, she preferred to play it safe and stay at home. But I can still remember the night 23 years later. The atmosphere was electric. The Albion fans never stopped singing throughout the whole game. Sadly, we were beaten 3-0 by the better side. Gudni Bergson again put Bolton ahead just before half-time. And I can still feel my heart sinking when Ricardo Gardner goes through and slams in the second goal, right in front of where we were sitting. Before the tune of "I Feel Good" Doodle-doodle-doodle by James Brown beamed loudly around the stadium. It was just horrible. Michael Ricketts added a third late on to fully finish the scoreline. In truth, we just weren't quite good enough. But it was one hell of a roller coaster ride, and we could be proud that our beloved Baggies had given us so much excitement. Our fans were so good that night that even the Bolton supporters gave us a rapturous applause at the final whistle. To this day, I have never, and probably will never, see that happen again. It was emotional stuff. Megson came over with every single player and backroom staff and clapped for what seemed an eternity. There was no tears, it was a sense of what a season this had been. The dark days looked behind us. We were on an upward trajectory, and we knew it. Roll on next season, although even next season was to also be completely unexpected. And that's it. The end of the 2000-2001 season. Thanks again for listening and your support and messages during these episodes. I'm so glad you're enjoying listening, as I'm enjoying making them and reminiscing. I think I've said that before, but it's true. The next one I bet you can't wait for. I know I certainly can't wait to do it. And what song shall we finish off with then? Well, I think this is only fitting because of how he's come in and changed everything for that season and kept us up. Megson's Barmy Army, Megson's Barmy Army, Megson's Barmy Army. You know the rest.